So this video is for the girlies that get pretty sad whenever their birthday is coming up. And this is a self-call out. I'm actually talking about me. My birthday's coming, and as you can probably tell by the lack of content in this channel for the past few months, I haven't really been able to sew anything in quite a while. So a few days ago, as I was dreading the arrival of my birthday, YouTube actually recommended me a video by Emma Chamberlain where she was baking herself a cake so she wouldn't cry on her birthday. And that entire video just felt like, girl, same. But the problem is, I can't bake. I'm pretty terrible at that. And I don't even like cake that much. And as I said, I haven't really been able to sew anything in quite a while, and I do really miss it. So even though I don't plan on celebrating my birthday at all, I decided to make a pretty dress. I've had this photo saved on my Pinterest board for months. It's from Reformation, surprise, surprise. And even though I'm usually able to recreate dresses quite well, if I do say so myself, this time it just will not look like an exact copy. Because first of all, the fabric. You see, I kind of decided to make this a little bit last minute and I tried to find something similar to the photo. And I thought I did, but when it arrived, I realized that the color was definitely wrong. I don't think the camera is actually capturing it, but this one is a little bit more on a beige, peachy side. It's not really off-white. But also the polka dots are not the exact same size either. And second of all, I might not have the brain power right now to make the exact pattern from scratch. So instead of making all the shapes a perfect match, I'm just gonna try to work with what I have, which is one of my favorite patterns of mine, the Amy Biasca dress. And I'll basically Frankenstein it with the puff sleeves from the Becca baby doll dress free pattern. But I don't really know if this is gonna work out or not because I have never really tried to add sleeves to the Amy Biasca dress before, or any Biasca garments in general. So let me quickly show you the differences between the original design and the one that I'm going to make, and also tell you what I think could possibly go wrong, because if it does go wrong, then you know that I actually anticipated it, and then it's not exactly a mistake. It's just an experiment. So the Reformation dress has a similar shape. It has a V-neck, a flared skirt, but it has a separate waist piece, and also the skirt is way more flared. The Amy Biasca dress has only one skirt panel and it's not as flared, but the problem I think is the back. From what I can tell, the Reformation dress has a high back neckline and it's probably not cut in the bias at all. So since the bodice is basically a normal bodice, you don't really have a lot of issues when you add a sleeve. Now for my pattern, the back is different. It has a really deep V back and the bodice pieces are cut on the bias, which is actually an update for the Amy Biasca dress pattern. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this later down in the video. So I'll need to add puff sleeves to a somewhat tight-fitting bias cut bodice with V-necks on the front and the back. So I'm afraid that the puff sleeves are going to keep pulling the straps of the dress down because the bodice basically doesn't have enough structure to stay up on its own. So I decided to maybe add a bow to the back to like keep it from falling. And I also considered cutting the sleeves on the bias, but I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. It could turn out unwearable in the end because this is something that I have never really done before. I really hope it doesn't though, because if it does, then I'm just not gonna have a birthday dress to wear at home while I do nothing. Anyways, let's just get started and hope for the best. So this dress usually takes me around 4 hours to make in total, but this time it took me 4 days. My energy levels have been pretty low lately, so I had to break it down into smaller bits and work on it over several days. If I had to choose one thing that I don't like about making the Amy Biasca dress pattern is going to be that it doesn't fit on my table because it's cut on the bias, so I have to basically cut it on the floor. And I'm getting old, so that's not fun for my back anymore. Here I'm measuring the grain line to make sure it's correct. This part is a little different. I am working on an update of the Amy Biasca dress. I've been working on it for quite a while now because I want to expand the size chart, but I've realized that the fit ends up being a lot more comfortable if the bodice pieces are also cut on the bias. And I'm actually pretty happy with how this updated version is going. I've made it a few times already and I have been testing it non-stop for a while. The only thing that made me a little bit sad is that the print was already diagonal on this fabric, so when I cut it on the bias, the polka dots ended up straight. That kind of annoyed me a bit. For the sleeves, I'm using the Becca baby doll dress pattern, as I said, and I folded the sleeves slightly so they wouldn't be as bulky, but honestly, I kind of wish that I hadn't. And that was pretty much all I did for day 1 and day 2. I don't know if you guys know this, but I used to study French years ago, back when I was in college. I took 3 semesters of it and I really loved it, but when the pandemic started, I kind of just stopped. So when I went to France this year, I just realized how much I had forgotten. And once I came back from a trip, I just decided to go back into learning it for real. And that's where Rosetta Stone came in. They are the language learning program that I've been using to get back into studying French, and they're actually partnering up with me for this part of the video. Rosetta Stone teaches languages through real-life context and immersion, using images, native speaker audio, and voice recognition to help you think and speak naturally in your new language. I would say I'm a pretty visual learner, so as soon as I started using the program, I just immediately loved it. I love how visual and interactive it is. The lessons use pictures and the voices of native speakers, so instead of translating everything in your head, you just connect the sound to what you see. And with the True Accent voice recognition tool, you listen, repeat out loud, and the app tells you right away if your pronunciation is right or not. And the lessons are pretty short, they're about 10 minutes each, and that's pretty much helping me stay consistent because it just doesn't feel like a huge task. And even though my chronogram is just for 30 minutes every day, I usually just keep going because the way that it's structured is really enjoyable for my brain. So if you've been meaning to start or to get back into learning a new language, I think Rosetta Stone is actually a really good way to begin. And for a limited time, you can actually get their best deal of the year, which is a single language subscription for just $99 or unlimited languages for $149. This is over 60% off, but it will only work if you use my link in the description or the QR code that's going to be on the screen. Je vais continuer à étudier le français et je te dirai bientôt comment ça se passe. Merci Rosetta Stone et maintenant on va retourner à la couture de la robe. Allons-y. Starting day 3, I began by making the little bows for the back of the dress, and to make things even better, my sewing machine started malfunctioning pretty badly. You'll see throughout this whole video how every time I sewed for a little bit longer, the needle would just suddenly come loose. I actually broke a few needles along the way while making this dress, which just added to my frustration. And I'm also making the thin ties to place at the waist later. This fabric is a little bit transparent, so I needed to line the dress. Normally, when I fully line this pattern, I use the lining to finish the armholes and the necklines at the same time. But this time, since I was adding sleeves and I wasn't sure if cutting them on a straight grain or on the bias would make a difference, I decided to line the bodice differently. I carefully placed the lining and the shell layers wrong sides together, and I say carefully because since it was cut on the bias, it is really easy to deform if you pull it a bit too hard. And then I top stitched them along the neckline and the armholes to basically turn them into a single layer, which also helped as a stay stitch, so the fabric wouldn't deform that much. I checked to see if it stayed the same by placing the pattern piece on top, and it pretty much was. By doing it this way, I will need to finish the neckline with bias tape later, which did add some steps to the sewing part, but it felt a lot safer because since I would only add the sleeves later, not between both layers, if something went wrong, then it would be easier to fix. I wouldn't need to seam rip everything, only the sleeves. So I'm preparing the bias tape now to finish the neckline. If you are new here on my channel, I already have 2 video tutorials for this pattern, an unlined and a fully lined version. They will be in the description of the video as well. But they're pretty old, so I have already filmed a new one that I will release once the updated version is finished. I'm still working on the bigger sizes. This dress has been very difficult to grade for the bigger sizes of my size chart. I have been working on it for a very long time because I want to make sure that this new version is as close to perfect as possible. The only difference in the sewing steps for this one is the fact that I'm adding the puff sleeves, so I'm gathering the sleeve in between the notches. Adding sleeves to the Amy dress was something that I have wanted to do ever since Barbie came out. I don't know if you remember the yellow dress that she wore in one of the scenes, but I remember seeing that and really wanting to do it. So I'm glad I'm doing it now, even though it's a little bit different. I might try to make this again, but with flutter sleeves later. That was hard to pronounce. I just really love this pattern so much. I have so many different versions of it that I've made over the years, and I always reach out to it whenever I go out. So it really is a favorite of mine. I think I have mentioned this in the intro, but it's been months since I've sewn anything. The last things that I made were the Sewing on Pinterest board outfits and the Mary Janes. I feel like I just neglected my health for quite too long and it started to catch up with me. Not just my physical health, but my mental health too. Both haven't been that great lately. I usually try not to talk about negative things here and focus on sewing instead, but I feel like I should explain why there haven't been many videos lately. So I have struggled with pretty strong anxiety for most of my life, but lately it got a little bit out of control. And pairing that up with my ADHD, I was really dysfunctional for the past few months. As I said, my energy levels were basically below zero, and I felt like I reached a breaking point. Even though I kept trying to make things, I just couldn't anymore. Even the things that I have always loved and that brought me so much joy. And I kept pushing for quite a long time, but it just made things worse. So I realized things were way worse than usual, and I was advised by my therapist to take a little break, so I did. I let myself step away from work for a little while, and I started prioritizing my health, even though that brought me even more anxiety at first because I knew that the algorithm just wouldn't be very nice to me if I stopped posting, but I had to. So I took some weeks to go to the doctor, get checkups, blood tests and exams, and basically just try to recharge a little. Before doing that, things were so bad I basically didn't leave my house for many weeks. Now I'm slowly going back. I slowly restarted going to the gym, seeing some friends here and there. But even after that, I still hadn't really made anything creative. It was like I just didn't have any fuel anymore. And I know that being able to pause like that is a privilege. I'm really aware of that. Not everyone gets to do this, but I wasn't really functioning anymore. And when you're someone who creates for a living, it's hard to admit to yourself when you've lost that spark because it feels like you're losing yourself too. So being here again, sewing something new, even if it's something that I have made many times before, it feels good. It took a lot longer than usual, and I didn't focus too much on perfection this time. So there are some construction mistakes, but at least I am making something. So it feels like a piece of myself is finally coming back. And also, sewing without having to talk out loud in a language that isn't my own is a bit less stressful to me. You don't get to see it because of the power of editing, but the amount of times I need to repeat sentences out loud until they are correct or pronounced right or my thoughts make sense, it takes a lot of mental effort for me. Sometimes during the days that my mind isn't super focused, it might take like 40 minutes of talking footage to get a decent 4 minutes cut. So filming this and adding a voiceover afterwards was a bit easier for me since my mind is still pretty tired. So I might do this more often in the future. And I wasn't sure if I should add the elastic or not. I ended up adding it, but I also really liked it without the elastic. You can see the happiness on my face when I tried it on and I saw that it worked. Because I honestly wasn't really sure if it was gonna work out or not, but it did. And here we have the culprit for the needle issues. This thing that holds the needle, it was totally damaged. It wasn't closing until the end, so every movement of the machine was enough for the screw to get loose and release the needle. Sewing the first elastic band was terrible, so I was finally able to get a replacement and all the issues went away. I kept sewing because I couldn't wait for it to arrive to start a project, but if I had fixed it earlier, it would have caused me way less stress. It was so cheap too, it was like 23 reais, which is less than $4. But yeah, if that ever happens to you, now you know. Hello, I'm gonna use my phone to record the audio for this part because I have no idea where the adapter for this camera is. So the audio is going to be a little bit different, but I don't think it's gonna be bad. So this is the dress with the puff sleeves and all. Let me go a little bit backwards so you can see the whole thing. So I'm actually really happy with the way that it turned out. I thankfully didn't need to actually replace the sleeves or do anything differently. It's not falling off my shoulders. I didn't even need to add the little tie that I said that I was going to add because once I tried it on, it wasn't falling off. Let me see here on my bed. I have to say that I didn't actually finish this dress in time for my birthday, but this is the first thing that I've sewn in quite a while. So I'm just happy that I actually got to finish it. Even though it took a lot longer than it usually does, at least I made it. And I'm starting to finally feel like myself again. I had a lot of videos planned that I didn't actually get to make. And I think from now on, I might just go back into making some videos with voiceovers because I think it makes things a little bit easier for me. I might also slow down on making some videos in the near future. I've been thinking about trying to make some short form videos. I don't know if you can tell, but I have a little sweat mustache right now. So about the short videos, I usually don't really do them because I honestly don't really know how to. I feel like since I got so used to making long form content, I kind of just don't really know how to start. But I'll always love making long form content. I feel like the way that I make things, I like to explain everything so thoroughly, and I don't think I have enough time to actually over-explain things if I'm making short-form content. So I feel like I'll always prefer to make long-form videos. But lately, the past few videos that I made, I've only been making videos that kind of take a lot of time and a lot of effort to make. So I felt kind of really exhausted from that, but I've missed talking to you guys and interacting. So I'm actually really happy that I was able to make this video. But I'm gonna go now because I still have to start editing it. But I really hope you liked it. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I actually didn't wear this on my birthday, by the way. I didn't finish it in time to wear it for my birthday. But I did go out with my friends. I thought about filming at the time, kind of making a little vlog so I could add to this video, but I am not really good at filming in public. I just feel way too awkward, so I didn't. And if you want to make this dress, don't forget that the puff sleeve pattern is actually for free on my website. You can grab it if you want. The cool thing about puff sleeves is that I can just kind of gather them and sew them to almost any bodice out there, as long as it's made for sleeves. But yeah, you can just grab it if you want. It's for free. I'm going to leave the link in the description, and hopefully I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!